that whether government is still interested. In 1983, government sank in as much as $4 million, $1 million being government of Ghana's own money, and $3 million being EU funding, which brought in the pumps, the canal, the dikes, and a whole lot of other, structures, which gave birth to Weja irrigation project. It was used from then on until power was cut off by Electricity Corporation of Ghana because the farmers were not able to pay the electricity that pumps the water because of the high tariff that had been put at that time. So activity stopped for a while. In 2006, government again came in to rehabilitate, Weja irrigation dam by replacing the pumps and working on the sprinkler system and the farms and all. And this cost us 2.1 million Ghana cedis, just 2006. If government were not interested in this land, I wouldn't understand why government would put in such investment when other places are crying for school buildings for children who are studying under trees and crying for water, potable drinking water, so they will get rid of worms. Government doesn't act that way. Government doesn't throw money away just for the sake of throwing money away. So definitely, government is interested in the land. That's why successive governments have pumped in this money up to today.
While government is spending fortunes rehabilitating the project, the Wages too has other ideas.
Recently, the chief himself led the entire family. We went there. He put stop to it that we should stop. We should leave the entire area. Whether the family will continue, we want to hear from the agric minister. If not, then we'll take a decision, because selling it to individuals will not benefit the family much than giving it for estate development. So this is the position we are in now.
Why now? You're already giving individuals portions of the land. The land that is left is the agricultural land, for which all those investments that I talked about have been made by this country. Are they saying we should bury that investment, close the books for $5 million plus, and pack off and say take the land and do whatever you want to do? Then they should pay us. They should pay us for the investment that we are putting under the ground there. If they are prepared to pay us that investment, I believe every government will give the land back to them. But you cannot eat your cake and have it. This project is bringing job opportunities for citizens of the same Weja irrigation dam area. The farmers are not coming from outside the area. So the chiefs themselves are concerned about unemployment and its consequences to their community. This farming irrigation project is bringing solution to an otherwise social menace of unemployment. And I think the chief should be happy that government is encouraging such development in their locality and should be the ones who should be supporting government in this endeavor.
Despite the order from the chiefs for the encroachers to stop work, construction is going on in earnest. According to the chief, Nia Denkpa VII, in 2008, he took steps to preserve what is left of the government-acquired land.
Le ojen wachigo benkele mchi benkele ye shin awa ni kela ke naka any wachi wa irrigation shipon naka shipon le fite ko ne ihe kan ne sake aduni ye no bokomoko aka ya jeme ni befen bi e wo bi ame sande aka ani naka shipon moko eta elo na mi ko ake dabi e won ye sure yo ake naka shipon e kanshin.
Just a few days before the interview, people were busily building on the irrigated land itself, so his attention was drawn to this.
Emi amani eja kena kan jemele ihan ni mokumuko ta ni monike o amachuwe no ni je no ke kwa ko amachuwe no we wo cheme o ke bubaye pepepe.
When asked whether he will back government to demolish structures on the irrigated land that he himself has barred people from encroaching, this is what the chief said.
Mani ayakwe any tuye ma mo dan. Dan agbene ke isana kumo. Le ma fi se na kumo. Ni keje sa na kumo wa pa amra lo fa ye. Ya ke shipon ida. Ko ni ameko fan ni hwe. Ko ni ekwe e fi pa ma mo ni na kaje ameke kiwo. Ko ni fan wo kwe na tuni e.
This country has sunk $5 million. In fact, it's about $6 million into this project. Are the chiefs telling us through their plea that we should forget about this investment, close up and move out of the area? Is that what they are telling us? If the answer is yes, beautiful, then let them bring their plea. If the answer is no and they are sympathetic towards why Ghana is where it is today, we borrow money for development and we throw the money away and it leaves us where we are today and we keep crying and crying. We'll change governments, presidents will come and go, but this country will remain where it is unless there's a paradigm shift, unless there's a rethinking by all of us, led by our chiefs, the custodians of the land, who decide to do the kind of thing that have been done in Weja. And it's not only Weja. Later I may have to mention other areas like Ashaman, which has also suffered the same fate, and a few other areas.
One of the major concerns of the Weja stool is that it has not received any compensation from government.
As a family, we have given the land to them, and they did assure us of a compensation along the line. We've done our possible best. We've written letters upon letters to the ministries and the recognized body to tackle that issue, but all has proved futile. So even as we speak to you now, no compensation has been given to the family yet.
The historical truth is that government acquired the land in 1983 through an LI, legislative instrument. And when an LI is passed that way, the land is acquired for public good. There are procedures for claiming compensation. And one would expect that the chiefs would go through those procedures to claim compensation for the land that was so acquired, but not unilaterally decide to sell back the land as if it is theirs. The land is no longer theirs. A whole law has been passed to acquire the land. The procedure is to go through the Lands Commission, which will then prepare the necessary evaluation on the land and all, and then it goes to government, and government will pay the compensation.
The Dowenya irrigation scheme begins right after the township towards the Accra-Aplaho Road for about 2 kilometers up to the Central University College and northwards for about 4 kilometers. Along the stretch, encroachers have started putting up permanent structures.
Currently, we have severe encroachments on the hills here, where we have our residential buildings. And if we don't take time, the whole place will collapse. We have other people too who are also encroaching from this side. So I think we have to take a serious view of that.
Though the problem is not as grave as that of Weja, it is only a matter of time. The adage, a stitch in time saves 9, must therefore guide the authorities to stop the encroachers before the situation gets out of hand. For some time now, development of the scheme has been concentrated in the middle of the acquired area. Despite challenges like disconnection of electricity to the facility for indebtedness, the scheme is doing all it can to keep its head above water. Out of 200 hectares developed for rice cultivation, it has been able to crop a substantial area.
Currently we have about 60 hectares and we hope to get to 100 hectares by September, October, and that will be our production for the year.
The 250 hectare lake created for rice cultivation is reducing in size as a result of siltation because of human activity around it. As a result, even in the rainy season, the water has receded, creating so much space between the lake and the spillway. What is even more worrying is the fact that a large area has been cleared by encroachers for construction of houses